Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AI Legends, and yeah guys, today I am back with the next part of What If Naruto Was Neglected and was Satoru Gojo. So yeah guys, hope you guys enjoyed the previous part of this series, and today I'm going to next part of it. I'm going to make the next part of this series. Hope you guys enjoy it, and yeah guys, I'm quite near to 10k, and it would be really great if I'd be able to reach 10k as quick as possible. So yeah guys, if you guys are new to this channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will really help me a lot. And yeah guys, I have an Instagram page by the name of AR Legends 1234. Please follow me on Instagram so that we can chat with each other and exchange some ideas about Naruto What If. So yeah guys, follow me on Instagram by the name of AR Legends 1234. You guys should be able to find it. It is pretty easy. As yeah guys, without wasting any more of your time, let us start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Naruto, you can say Minato and Kushina finally came out of their training whole session as Minato announces Menma as well as Naruto to be the clan heirs of the Senju as well as the Uzumaki clan, completely forgetting that he has another son. After all, it has been years since he has seen his son and he was so much focused on so-called the destination or the premonition or prophecy, whatever you guys would like to call it, as he completely forgot about Naruto. After all, there was not that much interaction to begin with. And same was the case with Kushina as well as Jiraiya and Tsunade. When Minato saw that how he had another son as by the name of Naruto, as Naruto completely and utterly destroyed the Sky Country within minutes, as Minato wanted to give the title of the clan heir back to Naruto after the clan meeting as well as the council meeting, seeing that how Naruto has been exiled from both the Senju as well as the Uzumaki clan, which literally shocked both Minato as well as Kushina to the core, as Minato wanted to bring back Naruto to the clan, but Jiraiya stopped him, telling him that from the very first day of training of Menma and Naruto, even when they remembered Naruto was a part of their family, they have already told Menma and Naruto that one day they will be the one to take the title of the clan heirs as well as the clan heads in the future from the very first day of the training. Yes, it was decided years ago, and Menma and Naruto already know it. And if they were to change it, they will think that we are taking something from them that belongs to them, which we told them that belongs to them and only them. They might go to the wrong path. As Minato, you can say, was pretty angry about this whole situation. He should not have told Menma and Naruto about the whole clan thing, and now his eldest son has been exiled from the clan because of his stupidity, as same was the case with Kushina, as they were pretty sad about the whole situation, as when they finally got back to the home, as Menma and Naruto wanted to celebrate for being Ganins, as Jiraiya was also with them, while on the other hand Minato was not so happy about the whole situation, especially with his father Jiraiya as well as Tsunade, as Kushina was also pretty angry about this whole situation. So they simply dismissed it, and it ended in an argument between the whole family as well as Jiraiya and Tsunade. So yeah guys, that was the last part where we left off. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys have not seen the last part, please check it out. This series is definitely a great one. So yeah guys, without wasting any more of your time, let us start the video from here on. As it was finally the next day, which Minato as well as Kushina were dreading, while on the other hand, Minato finally went to the, you can say, his office, as he has already given some questions to the academy, still yet to decide the teams about the whole situation as well as teams of his children as well as the academy students who has just graduated, as well as he has other tensions to deal with, especially his eldest son and how he's going to break the news to Naruto, which he has not seen for years. Hey son, well guess what, you has been exiled from the clan. That's how. As Minato simply shook his head, he is really dreading the day, but alas, as the sun still rises, as Minato greeted his date along with Kushina, as both of them were not liking the day whatsoever, but still they went to their respective jobs, as Minato finally got ready, as they arrived to the dinner table to see that how Menma and Naruto were still pissed off about this whole situation, as Minato simply shook his head, as right now he's not in the condition to deal with the stupidity as well as the stubbornness of his children, as he simply flashed into the office, as both Menma and Naruto noticed that, as Jiraiya sighed at that, he's trying his best so that Menma and Naruto could be on the same path of greatness as well as to one day save the world, but Minato is making things difficult for him, Can't he see that whole attention belongs to Menma and Naruto so that one day they could save the ninja world? After all, the needs of one are nothing compared to the needs of all. As Jiraiya simply shook his head, no, he does not hate his grandson. After all, Naruto is his grandson, and he is named after the character of his very first book, though it was not that famous as Ichichi Paradise, but still, as he loved his grandson, but still, it is all too clear that he's not as important as Menma and Naruto, yeah, and they, as Tsunade also took a seat as she smiled at her grandchildren as she said, so, Menma, Naruto, are you guys ready? As about going to the academy, as Menma scoffed as he said, huh, didn't you hear grandma? Dad has given us some occasion. It seemed that he wanted to rearrange the teams or something like that. As Tsunade frowned at that, but she simply shook her head. It must be something Minato must be thinking. As she simply nodded at that. So, what are you going to do about it, huh, Menma? As Naruto said, hey grandma, can't we train about something? Especially you can train me about your super strength. As then Kushina laughed, as Tsunade laughed, well Naruto, you still need some chakra control, otherwise you will not be able to use my super strength technique. As Naruto simply grumbled at that, as Menma scoffed at that, his chakra control is even worse than Naruto, so he definitely cannot use the super strength of his grandma. As he looked towards Jiraiya, hey, grandfather, can you teach me about some cool jutsu or something like that? As Jiraiya simply looked towards him. But of course, Menma, today I'm going to teach you a ninjutsu, so get ready. As Menma smiled at that, at least his granddad is still the same. After all, he knows the importance of how important Menma actually is, as well as Naruto, compared to that worthless loser Naruto, as even the name simply bring anger to the faces of both Menma and Naruto. They have trained for years, but they're worthless of a brother or wife out of nowhere, showing off, even as Menma as well as Naruto were sure that they could easily take him on and defeat him, even though their dad and mom always told them that they are still tuning level. They are pretty sure that they are far above it, and they are simply, you can say, trying to lowcase their power, and they can simply defeat Naruto whenever they like it. And they simply nodded at that at their head. And now let us cut back to Minato as he sighed at that as he said, so Kushina, what are you going to do about this whole situation? As Kushina sighed at that, I don't know, Minato. We definitely should not have given the title to Melma and Naruto so easily. After all, it was the birthright of Naruto-kun. As Minato simply nodded at that, and this whole situation is not getting easy, as the council is simply forcing me to bring Naruto another clan or something like that. Or something like that. As Kushina sighed at that, hey Minato-kun, what is this about Kekkei Genkai which Naruto-kun possessed? If he did not have that Kekkei Genkai, he would still be considered not that important, and then he would the council would not have forced us to literally exile him from our clan. He could still be a part of the clan, right? As Minato sighed, Kushina, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, the main problem is Naruto's Kekkei Genkai, which I literally don't have any idea where it came from. If Naruto has it, I don't know why Menma and Naruto does not have it. We trained them both, and if there was any Kekkei Genkai, it would have already shown some signs of it. I literally do not know about it. As Kushina simply nodded at that, and then there was a poof of smoke as it arrived Jiraiya as well as Tsunade. As Jiraiya said, hey son, how's going? As then Minato simply shook his head, what do you want, dad? As Jiraiya sighed and said, Minato, your attitude is really something which is really bothering me. But right now, I'm not in the mood to deal with it. Right now, I have something to ask you. Why? As you are given vacations to the graduates, as you and I both know that they should already be given some senses. As Minato simply shook his head, right now, I'm not in the condition to deal with this whole mess, as some other methods as well as council matters to deal with. As Jiraiya simply nodded at that as he said, so Minato, I wanted to ask you about something, and I have already discussed it with Tsunade-chan here. As Minato raised an eyebrow at that, what do you mean by that? And what is this you're cooking this time, dad? As Jiraiya simply nodded as he said, well Minato, it is about the Kekkei Genkai which Naruto possesses. As Kushina narrowed her eyes towards Jiraiya, as lately she's not liking Jiraiya whatsoever. As Jiraiya simply looked towards Minato as he said, Minato, I have done some research about this Kekigenkai, how Naruto was able to fly and all those powers which he has displayed, making energy balls out of his hand and destroying several power. It is definitely a Kekigenkai, but I do not know. I have researched from the even the Hokage world and all the archives of the village as well as the shinobi world. I have found nothing on this Kekigenkai. I think that it's a new Kekigenkai as Minato narrowed his eyes towards his father as Kushina as well as Tsunade were simply looking towards Minato as he said, and what do you want me to do about it, huh? As Jiraiya simply shook his head as he said, Minato, Menma, Naruto, as well as Naruto are triplets. If Naruto has this Kekigenkai, it is only obvious that Menma and Naruto also possess this Kekigenkai. I'm asking for a blood test. I have already discussed it with Kushina-chan, with Tsunade-chan, and we should be able to figure out what this Kekigenkai actually does, and it's only a matter of time when Menma and Naruto will also activate this Kekigenkai, and then they can become even stronger. It is pretty obvious that all the powers that Naruto possesses is only because of his Kekigenkai. After all, we did not train him, so his other ninja skills are still questionable, Minato, and I'm pretty sure that it is only the Kekigenkai which is making him so strong, and if Menma and Naruto has it as well, on top of Kyuubi's chakra, they will become unstoppable, and then it will be easy for both of them to save the world. While on the other hand, Minato was not now getting pretty angry about his father, as giving all the credit of Naruto's power to his Kekigenkai. While on the other hand, Minato also had some suspicions in the beginning, but when he started to read the files about Naruto's skill, even in the academy, his intelligence, and he remembered the small kid was also pretty intelligent when he used to ask him about training. But alas, Minato never gave him any mind whatsoever. As Minato said, well, Dad, I would have agreed with you if I was not so stupid at this. Most of the people were surprised. Even Tsunade, eyes wide, and said, Minato, what are you saying to your dad? As Minato simply shook his head as he said, Mom, it is not up for discussion, damn it. I've already go through the files of Naruto. His other skills are beyond what you can imagine. His taijutsu skills, his intelligence, as well as his chakra usage, as according to the files which were given to me, his chakra control is excellent, even perfect to your own level, Mom. On top of that, his physical powers only increases because of his training, and all the jutsus which he performed were excellent. If this Kekigenkai has anything to do with it, I do not know. We have already trained Menma and Naruto to best of our extent, and you and I both know that if Menma and Naruto also possess some Kekigenkai or anything like that, it would have activated years ago from all the training we have given to both of them. And wasn't you the one, Mom, to go through the blood test if they have the Kekigenkai of Kushina-chan, the chakra chains, or the Moketon, which you were expecting? As Tsunade flinched at that as he said, well, Minato, we were just trying to find out about if they had that specific Kekigenkai. If we have the blood test of Naruto as well as all Menma and Naruto, it should be easy for us to determine what type of Kekigenkai Naruto actually possesses, and if Menma and Naruto could also activate such Kekigenkai. After all, your dad is right. If Menma and Naruto also have this power, it would be easy for both of them to save the world. As Minato was now getting pretty angry, but before he could say anything, as an ambu landed beside Minato as he said, Lord Hokage, the council has been summoned, and they're waiting for your presence. As Minato had a dread forming at the pit of his stomach, as well as Kushina, as both of them simply looked towards each other, already knowing that their son must be back, and it's about time to do or die. As Minato simply nodded at that as he stood up, ready to flash away, as Jiraiya grabbed his hand. As Minato looked towards him with narrowed eyes, as Jiraiya said, Remember, Minato, do not do anything to jeopardize the future of Menma and Naruto, and don't even think about giving Naruto the title. You and I both know the consequences of that would be dire. As Minato gritted his teeth on that, even Kushina was now getting pretty frustrated about this whole situation, as Tsunade had a sad look on her face, as Minato simply nodded at that, as all of them simply flashed away into the council room. As Minato simply nodded to Jiraiya as all of them simply flashed into the council room. Now let us get back to the council. As Minato along with Jiraiya, Tsunade as well as Kushina simply flashed into the room as the council was already being summoned. As Minato looked around to see the elders as well as the clan heads as well as the civilian council was already present. As Minato simply nodded at that, knowing that from today on he's going to lose a lot of face in front of the clan heads as well as in front of the council. But it cannot be reversed. He has to do it for the sake of world. As just like the things he has been telling himself for years, as neglecting his duties as Hokage, neglecting his very firstborn, and now neglecting to the village to some extent just for the sake of work. He has to do it. And as for the sake of Konoha as well, as he simply took the seat, as well as Kushina taking the seat of the Uzumaki, as well as Jiraiya Tsunade taking the seats of the Senju clan, as Minato simply nodded towards the elders as he said, "So, what is this about the today's meeting?" As Koharu speak up, "Well, Lord Hokage, as we have discussed previously about the new clan which is going to be formed in Konoha, as it seems that our Ambu has returned back from the mission and he's going to be informed about the whole situation and about his new clan and his options, of course." As Kushina speak up, "Well, just wait a minute. Can we discuss this about this whole situation?" As Naruto can still be a part of the Senju and the Uzumaki clan if we were to accept it, right? As then Koharu simply shook her head as he said, "Well, actually, Kushina-san, it is not as simple as you think. If you want Naruto-san as to be part of your clan once again, then according to the clan laws, Menma and Naruto were to be removed from the position of the clan heir since that position originally did not belong to them. So they will not be exiled from the clan, but since your firstborn was the said heir and he has been exiled, he will be once again became the clan heirs of both of your clans, while on the other hand your children will not be considered as the exiles of the clan. They will remain the part of the clan, and that is the only condition according to the laws of the clans as well as the Konoha laws. It is the only option in which your son can be the part of your clan. So what will be the option, huh, Kushina-san or Hokage-sama?" As there was silence once again as Minato wanted to speak something, but a look from Jiraiya simply shut his mouth. As then Hamura simply shook his head. "Well, Lord Hokage, I was expecting better from you. You already know that your firstborn is actually far stronger and far too capable of leading you both of your clans with glory, but you rather put your other children to be the heir of the clan. I must say that that is quite favoritism." As he simply shook his head, as Minato wanted to speak something, but he knows that he has to do it for the sake of Konoha, for the sake of world, for the sake of destination and the premonition which the great old toad sage has seen about Menma and Naruto. So he has to do it, as he simply shut his mouth, not saying a single word, as many of the clan heads simply looked towards Minato with shame in their eyes, as Minato could already see, as Kushina was also getting pretty angry about this whole situation, especially angry at Jiraiya and Tsunade forcing them to do this. All the respect which they have gained over the years has simply been shattered within minutes. As then Ambu landed beside them as he said, "Well, honorable council, Naruto's son has been arrived within Konoha and is heading towards the council room." As they simply nodded at that, as Koharu simply looked towards Minato and Kushina, as she simply shook her head, and then finally a figure started to walk from the shadows. As they could see, a tall figure, far too tall for 13 years old, actually looked like 16, as he has wild white hair as well as has a, you can say, a blindfold on his eyes. As it entered into the room, as many of the people could feel the aura of authority and power all around it, as Naruto simply entered into the room, as he looked around to see all the council, civilian council. As Naruto looked around to see the elder Sashinobi Council, as Naruto looked towards Shikaku, who simply nodded at him, as Naruto simply nodded back, and then towards the civilian council, as finally his eyes landed on his parents. As you can say, Naruto did not think much of it, as he could already tell something was off about this whole situation, as he simply looked towards the Hokage, as he said, "You summoned me here, Lord Hokage." As Minato flinched at that, as he simply was wondering how he's going to do. There is still time, he can still give Naruto the title of the clan heir. as Manma and Naruto will still be the part of the clan and Naruto will once again become the part of the clan. He does not care about the situation, about the whole clan heir or clan head thing. They are family, damn it. But a look from Jiraiya was already telling him that it will not be a good idea as Minato clenched his face just how much he has to sacrifice for the sake of the world and for the sake of the premonition which the great old toad has given. As Minato simply shook his head, he has to do it and he has already thought about it. As but before Minato could say anything, as Koharu speak up, well Naruto-san, we are here to discuss about some situation which is concerning you, my boy. As Naruto simply looked towards him, as he simply nodded at that and he said, well, what will be the situation, Koharu-san? Mind explaining it in a bit of explanation, as he simply nodded at that as he said, well Naruto-san, with great regret, we have to inform you from the recent development. You have been exiled from the both Uzumaki as well as the Senju clan, as both Minato and Kushina flinch at that. Even Tsunade was looking uncomfortable, while on the other hand Jiraiya was still confident that this was the right decision to be made, even though not so strong, but his confidence that it is only because of his Kekkei Genkai, and when Menma and Naruto activate this Kekkei Genkai, they will be far stronger than Naruto could ever hope to be. As he simply nodded at that thought, while on the other hand, Naruto looked towards them for some time as Hamura speak out. Well, it seemed that a bit of explanation is to be needed, Naruto-san. It seemed that there is a law in Konoha as well as the law of the clans. When a said heir of the clan is removed from the position of the heir, thus he has been hereby exiled from the clan. Since you are a part of two clans, the Uzumaki as well as the Senju clan, and Lord Hokage and Kushina-san has seen it fit to put their other children, Menma and Naruto, to be in the position of the clan heir. Since they are the clan heads, they can easily remove you, and by the clan laws, hereby you are exiled from both of the clans. As there was silence in the room as they were waiting for the reaction, but to their surprise they did not get one, as Naruto's eyes were covered with a blindfold, while on the other hand his mouth did not even react at that, as Naruto simply nodded at that as he said, well, I see. So, what is this meeting is about? Is it just about telling me that I'm no longer a part of the Senju or the Uzumaki clan? As Minato was now getting a bit frustrated, he wanted to put it bit, you can say, slowly, as sugarcoating it and things like that, not wanting to just say it bluntly, as he shot a glare towards the elders who simply ignored it. As Townsend speak out, well Naruto-san, it may be regretful, but that is not actually the case. Since you possess a Kekkei Genkai in Konoha, which means and you're no longer a part of the Uzumaki or the Senju clan, which means that you have to form a new clan in Konoha. As several people simply nodded at that as Shikaku speak up, well Naruto-san, but the choice is obviously yours. As you can be a part of a no clan, or because of your Kekkei Genkai, you can form a new clan, and it is advisable that you form a new clan. By doing that, it would be much better for the future generation of yours. As Naruto simply looked towards him, as he simply nodded at that, as he said, well, that does seem a bit logical. So, you want me to form a new clan, and what will be the requirement of that? As Hamura speak out, well Naruto-san, you just have to do a bit of paperwork, and at some age, you have to get some children's, and then your clan will be formed, while on the other hand just signing the papers you will be named as the clan head. Since the Uchiha clan also have a single member but still considered a clan in Konoha, you as a single member will still be considered as a clan till you reach the age specific for the person to have children. As Naruto simply nodded at that as he said, well, it seemed that I have to form a new clan. Well, never expected that. But still, hey, always expect the unexpected. As he thought it for some time, as he said, alright, I've decided it. I'm going to form a new clan in Konoha. As all the members simply nodded at that as the elders simply looked towards Naruto as he simply nodded. And what will be the name of this clan of yours, Naruto-san? As Naruto simply looked towards her as he said, the name of my clan shall be Satoru clan. As there were several murmurs going on around the area as they simply nodded at that. Alright Naruto-san, from hereby you are considered Naruto Satoru. and this will be the name of your clan. You just have to sign some papers and your clan will be officially formed. And you do know that by doing this, you are no longer the son of the Hokage or the Kushina son. As Kushina shot a glare towards Koharu, who simply ignored it bluntly, as Tsunade was simply shaking her head, wondering what will her grandfather say about this whole situation, as Naruto simply nodded at that as he simply shrugged as he said, I have not been the part of the family for years. As by saying that, he simply looked towards some papers who are coming towards him. As Shikaku simply nodded at that, you just have to sign these papers, Naruto-san, and by the approval of the council, you are hereby the new clan head of the Satoru clan. As Naruto simply nodded at that as he simply signed the paper, not even looking towards Minato and Kushina, while on the other hand Kushina was already on the verge of tears, as Minato had a sad expression but a fun look on his eyes, being Hokage and all, as Naruto simply signed the papers, as Koharu smiled and said, well Naruto-san, from hereby you are the new clan head of the Satoru clan. As Danzo speak up, since you have your shinobi duties, Naruto-san, we will not disturb you. As for your clan vote, don't worry about it, I will handle it. After all, I'm already handling the vote of the Uchiha clan, as Minato shot a glare towards Danzo, as knowing that this will give Danzo even more power, as he is already handling the vote of the Uchiha clan, which was already giving Danzo 2 votes, and if he has a third one, it will be definitely be troublesome for Minato to handle things. After all, Hokage has 2 votes, while on the other hand, the elders have 1. Same with the Shinobi Council as well as the Civilian Council, only 1 vote, as this will give Danzo more authority over Minato himself, as he was not so happy about it, as Naruto had a small smirk on his face as he said, that will not be needed, Danzo-san. I have a technique thanks to which I can easily handle the whole council meeting things as well as my own things and training and mission and all. Don't worry about it. As Danzo was a bit surprised as he thought that it would be easy to manipulate Naruto to be under his thumb, to be a root after he will play his card, that how his family has exiled him and he can have revenge or things like that. As Danzo said, and what would that be technique, Naruto-san? You do realize that you're an Ambu and your missions would be a lot important and who knows how long you could be left and there will several meetings which would be required your presence. So I can easily handle your board, don't worry about it. As Naruto simply shrugged, as I said before, I have a technique thanks to which I can easily handle my duties as a new clan head. As Danzo said, and what will that be? As Naruto simply shrugged, as Naruto slammed his hand together and then suddenly a clone appeared next to Naruto as Danzo raised an eyebrow as he said, a shadow clone. Well, I don't think that that will be sufficient enough, Naruto-san. You know that the shadow clones, they do not cover that much of a distance, but before Danzo could complete a sentence as Naruto said, well, who said that it was a shadow clone, Danzo-san? I thought that years of experience you would have recognized the hand seals, though I did not made any. As Danzo as well as the council was a bit interested now. Even the elders were a bit surprised as Naruto said, well, this, as Naruto put a hand to the shoulder of his clone, is known as a blood clone. As there were several gasps could be heard, it was well known that Tobirama Senju was the one who wanted to make actually a blood clone, but he was not able to complete that jutsu, not even come close to that. So he settled on the shadow clone technique. As Danzo said, a blood clone, that is not possible, as even Tobirama Sensei was not able to make it. How did you learn it? As Naruto said, who said I learned it? I made it. As there were several gasps could be heard across as Jiraiya's eyes widened. The implication of such a jutsu, if Menma and Naruto have it, they can even have the physical training done by the clones and they can become even stronger when the clones simply dispel and learn even more jutsus. As this will be perfect for both Menma and Naruto to learn so that one day they could save the world. As as Jiraiya speak out, well, if such a jutsu exists, I presume that we should put it in the scroll of ceilings. After all, it could be considered as a kinjutsu, right? As there were several murmurs, as Danzo was also wondering if he has such a jutsu, his root could be even more proficient. You can say even more great. As Naruto smirked at that as Shikaku simply shook his head troublesome. As Naruto said, well, since I'm a part of a clan and a clan head, I can make it a clan secret. As Naruto simply shrugged at that, there were several, you can say wide eyes across the room as Tanzo narrowed his eyes. This kid was good at politics, damn it. It will be troublesome for him. As while on the other hand, elders simply look towards each other. They have nothing against Naruto, and if you wanted to make it a, you can say, clan secret, then there's nothing they can actually do about it. As they simply shrugged at that, they're not going to use it whatsoever, so he can have it. As while on the other hand, Jiraiya also credit his state as he has to get his hands on that technique. If Menma and Naruto were to learn it, even he learn it, it would be great. He could easily train Menma and Naruto at the same time and keeping up with his spy network. It would be great for him as well as especially Menma and Naruto. While on the other hand, Minato was feeling quite a pride at his son for making such a technique even Tobirama Senju was not able to create. And same was the case with Tsunade, though a lower extent, as well as Kushina, as Minato speak up. Alright, this meeting is over. Naruto, can you meet me at my office in 1 hour? As Naruto simply looked towards him for some time. As for Minato, it was long hours, while several seconds passed as Naruto simply nodded at that, as the council was simply dismissed, as Danzo was already making plans how he's going to use his cards so that he can get Naruto under his thumb under the label of root. As while on the time Minato was wondering how he's going to talk with his son about this whole situation and all, as while on the other hand, Jiraiya was also wondering how he's going to get the blood sample for Naruto so that Menma and Naruto could also gain the same Kekkei Genkai. After all, they are triplets. It is only obvious that Menma and Naruto also possess this Kekkei Genkai of Naruto. And for Kushina, she was thinking the same thing of Minato. As for Naruto, well, you guys will figure it out later on. So yeah, as they simply went off to their respective position, as Minato simply was slumped at his chair, as in front of him was Kushina, Jiraiya, as well as Tsunade, as Minato sighed once again, as Kushina was also feeling pretty sad as she looked towards Minato. Minato, what are you going to discuss with Naruto? You and I, as she simply looked towards Minato, who had a sad expression on his face as he said, I don't know, Kushina. To be honest, I don't know anything. As his style. While on the other hand, Tsunade, being a mother, was already feeling pretty sad for Minato. While on the other hand, Jiraiya was thinking about something else as he looked towards his son as he sighed inwardly, but he has to do it for the sake of word. As he said, Minato. As Minato simply looked towards his father, not expecting anything good coming from Jiraiya lately. As he said, what do you want, Dad? As he said, Minato, I was wondering about that technique which Naruto used as the blood clone, as Minato raised an eyebrow at that. And what about the technique? As I said, Minato, don't act foolish. You and I both know the implications of such a jutsu. If you or Melma and Naruto were to learn it, you and I both know how much training that they can take in, and then it will even affect their physical attribute when the clone will dispel, and it will definitely be great for both Menma and Naruto to progress at a rapid rate, and then finally they will be strong enough to save the world. As now, it was more than enough for Minato as he was now getting angry, and same was her condition with Kushina, and she finally lost it as she grabbed Jiraiya from the front of his shirt, and Jiraiya was surprised. Never Kushina got this angry with him as he said, alright, I have more than enough of this, you damn old toad. As Tsunade as well as Minato were surprised. Well, in case of Minato, not that much. I have more than enough of yours. We have given years to Melma and Mito's progress, and you're saying that they are still not strong enough? Just how much we have to sacrifice so that they could be strong enough? Damn it, they're already plenty strong for their age. They are already solid tuning level, and you and I both know it. And even with more training, now they only need the experience and all. And if this damn you can say damn premonition it's just taking so much things from us, then what's the meaning of the damn premonition if it has to be occurred thanks to our all of our efforts and neglection? As Jiraiya simply looked towards Kushina in the eye as he said, well, Kushina, I never told you to neglect Naruto or anything like it. Don't put all the blame on me. It is your own doing. As Kushina grabbed Jiraiya even further from the neck, but Jiraiya did not flinch or whatsoever, as daring her to do anything. As now Minato was also seeing that condition was getting out of hand, but he was also pretty angry about this whole situation. As Jiraiya looked that into the eyes of Kushina, we need that Chutsu, as well as that Kekkei of Naruto. For man my Mito, you and I both know that Naruto may be your son and my grandson. And don't get me wrong, Kushina, I love him. And but you and I both know that he's just not as important as Menma and Naruto. And you and I both know it, along with Jiraiya and Tsunade. As Kushina was now getting angry as well as sad at the same time. Tears were already on the, you can say, edge of her eyes, but she simply pushed Jiraiya away. As not looking back towards Jiraiya, who simply shook his head as he looked towards Minato. I will come later, Minato. Just remember that it is important for the world. After saying that, he simply sent away. As Tsunade sighed, as she simply looked towards her son, as she said, "Well, Minato, I'm sorry about Jiraiya attitude, but you have to understand, what he is saying is not definitely wrong." As Minato looked towards Tsunade, a bit surprised, as he said, You the same mom?" As Tsunade sighed, "Minato, just think about it with a calm mind, with the mind of a Hokage, not as a father. Just think about it. What Jiraiya is doing is important for the world, as well as Naruto as well. Man Naruto is the key to save the world, and some sacrifices has to be made. It will even benefit Naruto in the end of the day. Just think about it, Minato." After saying that, she also went off. As Minato sighed once again, this whole premonition is definitely taking too much out of him. Else he sighed, as well as Kushina, and now they have to discuss some things with their son. Sorry, correction, ex-son. Well, yeah. As Minato sighed, as he looked towards Kushina, as he said, "Well, Kushina, it seems that Naruto is already coming towards here, so are you ready for it?" As Kushina sighed, knowing that she has to do it now or after some time, as she has to confront her son after such years. It has been years since she has talked with Naruto, as it has been recently. He has said single words to them, and then they have not seen him whatsoever, wondering if she is even able to call him a son after all of these years of neglect and things like that. And now they have even taken the clan 8 title from him, the only thing which was tying him to the clan or to them. As she sighed, knowing that what and why she is doing it, as she simply nodded at that. As as after some time, there was a knock at the door as Minato as well as Kushina settle themselves. As then Minato speak up, enter. As then the door opened as they looked towards the sun as who was walking in front of them. As Naruto was not at 13 years old actually. He looks like at 16 years old easily. His height was quite big, as well as he has white hair, which Minato did not knew, as his other children has his hair. Well, at least Naruto had his eyes. But wondering why does Naruto cover it? People usually cover it when they have some dojutsu, and then it clicked to Minato, wondering if it is some type of dojutsu which is giving Naruto his powers or something like it. As he simply put it behind his head as he simply nodded towards his son, giving him a smile as he said, "Well, Naruto," a nervous smile actually, which Naruto could easily see past, as well as Kushina. As Minato looked towards Naruto for some time as there was silence in the whole room. As Minato speak up, "Well, Naruto, it has been some time, wouldn't you agree?" As Naruto simply looked towards him as he said, well, if I must say, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, I guess." As at this, both Minato and Kushina flinch. As Kushina said, Suchi, as she wanted to go just hug him, but she does not know how he will react. Though she was still in her place as Minato speak up, "Well, Naruto, you're right about it. It has been some time. Well, the whole training of Menma and Naruto, it took some time, As Naruto simply nodded at that as he said, "So, Lord Hokage, why did you summon me here? I guess that all the things about concerning my clan has already been settled." As Minato simply nodded at that as he said, "Well, Naruto, I just wanted to talk to you. It has been some time, it has been years. As Naruto simply looked towards him as he said, well, it has been some years, if I must say. Though, I wonder, what do you guys actually want to talk me about, huh?" As Minato simply looked towards Naruto as he gulped, as he said, "Well, Naruto, I just wanted to ask you about, how your years has been and how's you taking the news. I just did not want you to put it like that, Naruto. I'm really sorry actually. As Naruto simply looked towards him as I said, huh, so you're talking about the clan air thing, huh? Well, to be honest, I literally don't give a well, I don't even care about it whatsoever. At this both Minato and Kushina were surprised at the thought that Naruto must be angry that the title of the clan heir was taken from him or something like that as Naruto simply looked towards them. Though I already knew it one day this will happen, so I was already expecting it and never got too much attached to the name of the Uzumaki or Senju. To be honest, I lost interest years ago in these clans. At this, both Minato and Kushina were surprised as Kushina said, "What are you talking about, Naruto?" As Naruto simply looked towards her as he said, well, you do realize that I am in Ambu, and being in Ambu, it requires a lot of mental strength as well. I was already more than enough sure that I would be exiled from the clan at the moment both of you came out of your whole training, your children's thing. Though, to be honest, I'm not angry about this whole situation. You know, the world is pretty bad. And we live in this world. To be honest, many people live in far worse condition than some. So I'm pretty grateful for the all things I have. So I don't think that I have the right to be angry or think that how bad my life actually is or anything like it. At this, both Minato and Kushina were surprised as well as ashamed at that, as their son was saying that he actually knew that they will do this to him, and to some extent they were right. He was right. At this, Minato said, how do you figure that, Naruto? As Naruto simply shrugged. Well, to be honest, it was pretty years ago when you started to train Man My Naruko. I remember the day when you told both of them that how they will one day lead the clans. And when I was simply there to be the heir, which was pretty easy, huh? And you really thought that I would not know the laws of Konoha as well as the clan laws of Konoha. Though I must say that was pretty stupid, as both Minato and Kushina flinched at that. They remember the time when Naruto was always there, and when both Minato and Kushina wanted to motivate both Manma and Naruto, and always telling both of them that how one day they will be the head of the both Senju and the Uzumaki clan respectively. So it was pretty obvious when Naruto used to live with them, as now making them even more guilty and saddened, as Minato simply looked towards him as he said, well, Naruto, I just wanted to apologize, I did not wanted it, things to go like this. As Naruto simply shrugged, well, as I said before, I do not care, but I am pretty intrigued about this whole situation. At this moment, you can say, both Minato as well as Kushina raised an eyebrow as Kushina said, "What are you talking about, Suchi?" As Naruto said, "Well, I'm clearly far stronger than both Merma and Naruto. You keep saying that how you did not want it, though you still have the power to remove Merma and Naruto from the position and give it back to me, and both Merma and Naruto will still be a part of the clan and I will be reinstated in the clan. But you rather say that how you sorry actually are and wanted to change it, but rather when you still have the power, you do not want to do it. I wonder why." As both Minato and Kushina fell into silence, they do not have the answer to that, and deep down they knew it. Why? As they wanted Menma and Naruto to be on the straight path to the path of light. They do not want to give them any excuse to follow on the path of darkness, as after all the premonition could easily said that how the child shall walk in the path of light or the darkness that will decide the fate of the world, as they did not want to give that prophecy or whatever premonition that actually was of the Toads to Naruto, not wanting to put their relation even further into strain, as that it already was, as Naruto simply looked towards them. "I wonder why is that, huh, Lord Hokage? Mind explaining it to me?" As while it is pretty obvious that I could be far greater option as a clan heir, but as I said before, I'm not jealous or whatsoever. To be honest, I do not care, as I'm a shinobi and my skills as a shinobi are more than enough for me. And at the moment, I'm a clan head as well, soon to be one of the strongest clan in the whole world. Just keep that in mind. Just telling you, as well, you guys know that how Satoru Gojo always like to say that he's the strongest. So here, Naruto will always be like that. As Naruto simply said, as Minato simply looked towards him as he wanted to say something, but what can he actually say about this situation? That was right, he could easily give Naruto the title back, though now Naruto is a part of another clan, and it would be put a pretty, you can say, disturbance in the whole system, and literally he cannot do it alone, especially while the council and the elders are around. Though, what he can say now, as Naruto simply looked towards both of them. Both of you are hiding something, right? As both of them were surprised, they were trained shinobi and trained to hide their emotions pretty easily. If Naruto could sense it, it must mean that he's a sensor and pretty damn good one on that to sense the emotions of two S rank shinobis. As Naruto simply had a smirk on his face as he said, well, if this is all you have to talk about, Lord Hokage, then I must leave. I have a compound to buy. And at this, both Minato and Kushina were surprised as Kushina said, but Sushi, buying a compound will require a lot of money. As Naruto simply smirked, well, that is my problem, Lady Kushina. And refrain from calling me your Sushi. You already know that. I am no longer your son. As Kushina wanted to say something, but she did not got the opportunity as Naruto simply vanished from the area. As both Kushina and Minato were saddened at that. But right now they have other things to deal with. Now let us go back to the Uzumaki and Senju compound as both Kushina and Minato once again arrived pretty sad at that as both Menma and Naruko were waiting for both of them as they arrived as Menma speak up, hey dad, how's your day? As Naruko was also looking towards Kushina, as Kushina gave both of them a sad a smile as he said, well, it was great, Menma and Naruko. Tell me about yourselves. As Menma speak up, well, I'm learning a jutsu. Granddad is teaching me the evolved version of the Rasengan. At this, Minato's eyes shot open as he looked towards Menma as he said, what is he teaching you, Menma? As Menma said, well, he's teaching me how to put the chakra nature to their Rasengan, which Minato made after years of practice. As Minato shot a glare towards Jiraiya, who was coming towards him, who flinched a little, wondering what got Minato so angry about it. As he looked towards his son, as Jiraiya said, what is it, Minato? As Minato simply looked towards him, what are you teaching both of them, dad? As Tsunade also arrived, wondering what is going on here. As Jiraiya said, well, I'm teaching them both the Rasen Shuriken, as well as wondering about their chakra nature. Could you believe it? Menma has wind affinity, just like you, Minato. And Naruko has the affinity for the lightning, just like you, Minato, as both of them have your affinities. I'm just teaching them how to add the affinities so that they can also make the Rasen Shuriken, Wind style Rasen Shuriken, and Lightning style Rasen Destructor. As Minato narrowed his eyes towards his father. Father, you and I both know how dangerous those techniques are, and you also know that how Menma and Naruko's control is not up to the level to form the Rasen Shuriken or the electromagnetic murder of the Rasengan. It is not just simply possible. They would have exploded the damn jutsu on their hands or on their faces. How could you even teach them? How could you even be so careless about this whole situation? Damn it! As Jiraiya was taken aback from it, Minato never got this angry. He was always cool and collective. As Tsunade was also warning the same thing. As Kushina was also not happy about it. As she looked towards both Menma and Naruko, you guys are not learning that jutsu. Not now. As Minato, as Menma shot a glare towards his mom. What do you mean by that? We have been training for years and it is a jutsu. We deserve to know it. After all, we are the destiny child. At this, both Minato and Kuchina were taken aback from that. They never told Menma and Naruko about the premonition. And then both of them, it hit them as both of them looked towards Jiraiya, who was a bit nervous now. As Minato said, you told them, didn't you? As Jiraiya said, well, Minato, they need to know what is to come to in the future and how they need to walk to the path of light for the sake of world, damn it. As Minato simply looked towards Jiraiya with a serious expression. As your Hokage, Jiraiya-san, you are not to teach Genin, Menma, as well as Genin, Naruko, any jutsu until I say otherwise. And if you were to disobey the direct order of your Hokage, be ready for the punishment. As Tsunade gasped, even Jiraiya was surprised Minato was using his title as Hokage and giving him a direct order. As even Menma and Naruko were taken aback from it. As Kushina looked towards Minato with satisfaction as she simply nodded at that. And you young ones, you will not learn any jutsu other than as It is a order from your Hokage, remember that. As both Menma and Naruto clench their fists and they know it. It is because of that damn loser. They always learned all type of jutsus. Their parents never stopped them. And now it is because of that damn worthless loser that they are getting this scolding for no reason. They deserve to know that technique. After all, that they are the destiny childs. And they simply nodded at that as Jiraiya shot a glare to Minato as telling him that how he's doing things wrong. As Kushina, Suika, Menma, Naruko go back to your rooms. They simply nodded at that and they went off pretty angry about the situation as Jiraiya looked towards Minato. Minato, what are you doing? As Minato simply looked towards him. I'm doing the right thing. They are not ready to learn such a technique. And what will happen if they simply explode it on their faces or on their hand? And then they will never be able to learn any technique. How could you be so careless, damn it? As Jiraiya said, we have Tsunade here. We also have the chakra of the QB that would have healed them. As Kushina said, that is no excuse for them to making themselves hurt. They already know many jutsus and they are not ready to learn the Rasen Shuriken as well as the lightning style Rasengan. As Jiraiya gritted his teeth as he simply nodded at that as he simply went off. He simply wanted to teach them how to manipulate their chakra, though he have to wait for some time. He cannot afford to make Minato even further angry. Things are going hectic and he has to do something about this whole situation. But first things comes first. He has to see how Menma and Naruto could form the blood clone as well as the Kekkei. He has to do something so that he can get his hands on the Kekkei so that Menma and Naruto could also master it and save the world. And now, as Minato sighed as he simply went off, as Jiraiya was thinking how he can actually do things. Then a idea struck him as he smirked at that. Well, this will be great. It will be soon enough. Menma and Naruto will activate the Kekkei and then they will be able to save the world more easily. As he simply nodded at that, satisfied with his thoughts and ready to put them in action. As Jiraiya simply went off. Now, in the next day, as Minato was in his office doing his paperwork and trying to make the teams even more perfect, but right now he's confused about the senses part. He has to do something about it, and Naruto was constantly in his mind wondering what his son is actually doing in Ambu. No matter how strong Naruto actually is, Minato was still his father, and he always worried about Naruto. Being in the Ambu was a dangerous life, no matter how strong Naruto may actually be. As he simply shook his head as he sighed, and then there was a knock as a person landed in the room through a window. As Minato looked towards his father, annoyed, as he said, "You do realize that I have a door, right, Dad?" As Jiraiya simply nodded, "But of course, son. Well, I'm here for some other business, you know." As Kushina was also there helping Minato as she shot a glare to Jiraiya. Lately, she's not liking Jiraiya whatsoever. Her father-in-law be damned. As Minato looked towards him, "And what do you want? And don't tell me it is about Manma and Naruto once again. Right now, I'm not in the mood to teach them any new jutsus or anything like it." As Jiraiya simply shook his head, "No, it is not about that, Minato. I heard that you are having a bit of trouble about the senseis, and I also know that you're worried about your son Naruto, right?" As Minato looked towards Jiraiya, he never talks about Naruto and wondering what he is actually planning, already knowing that he wants to get his hands on the blood clone as well as the Kekkei or whatever Kekkei Naruto actually possess. Even Minato do not know, and to be honest, he does not care whatsoever. As he looked towards Jiraiya, "What are you planning this time, Dad?" As Jiraiya put a hand upward, "Well, I'm planning nothing, Minato. I can understand, Minato. You're my son, and I must say, just like Naruto is your son, and I'm his granddad as well, I also care about him, and I just want him and I just do not want my family to be apart. I know that you're angry with me for not allowing you to put Naruto once again to be clan heir, but you have to understand that it was important for the good of the world." As Minato simply shook his head, trying to figure out what Jiraiya was trying to tell him. As Jiraiya said, "Well, Minato, I have a plan. By doing that, you might get Naruto back into the family. He may be a part of another clan now, but still, it does not mean that he cannot be a part of our families." As Minato was genuinely surprised, his father was saying something other than Menma and Naruto. Well, that's a development. As even Kushina was taken aback from that, as he said, "What do you mean by that now? Jiraiya sighed, knowing that Kushina was pretty angry with him, as he said, "Well, Minato, my plan is pretty simple. As put Naruto out of the Ambu and made him a Jonin sensei to Manma and Naruto. At this, both Minato and Kushina were taken aback at that. They never thought about it. On one hand, they can put Naruto out of the Ambu, in which there were more dangerous missions, and then he could be Jonin sensei of Manma and Naruto. Not too confirm about it, but still, it could give them an opportunity for the siblings to bond over something. Naruto being so strong, an Ambu captain, he could easily be a Jonin sensei, though he was 13, but he looks like 16 at least. So, it would be not that bad, and it would be a new experience for Naruto, and that way, they would be not that worried about Naruto being in the Ambu and doing dangerous missions. So yeah, but Minato knew his father better, knowing that Jiraiya was cooking something else he has something at the back of his mind. But on one side, as it was a great opportunity for Minato to put Naruto out of the Ambu as well, as he simply nodded at that. No matter what it is going to be a win-win situation. So he's not going to refuse it, not right now, until he figured out what Jiraiya is actually planning. As he simply looked towards him, well, that could be a great opportunity, father. But I must say that there is an odd number here, and it seemed that I have to put at least two members into a single team, as he had a smile on his face. Well, Kushina-chan, it seemed that you have to be the other Jonin sensei of the team, as Kushina was surprised at that, but then a smile came to her face, already knowing what Minato was saying, as Jiraiya was a bit surprised as he said, "What are you saying, Minato?" As he said, "Well, it seems that Menma, Naruto, and three other members will form a team, since there is an odd number of people, and since this is a five-man team, I'm putting two Jonin Sensei, Naruto, as well as Kushina to be the Jonin Sensei. As this, you gonna say, Jiraiya frowned a little, but then again, it could be a great opportunity for both Menma and Naruto to learn about Naruto's secret even more. As he simply nodded at that, though Kushina will pose a bit of challenge, but still, until she does not figure out what they are actually planning, it would be great. As she simply nodded at that as she simply went off. As Jiraiya had a smile on his face, now it is a perfect opportunity as he simply went off. As he arrived in a training ground, as Kakashi was training both Menma and Naruto, as he looked towards Kakashi as he said, "Yo Kakashi, been a while." As Kakashi simply looked towards Jiraiya, well, Jiraiya-san, it has been some time. So, have you already completed your Ichijo Paradise Nest series? As Jiraiya laughed, "Well, my number one fan, it will be coming soon enough. But right now, I have something else to discuss with you. Menma Naruto, you with as well." As they were surprised, as they simply nodded at that. As Kakashi raised an eyebrow, "What do you want with me, Jiraiya-san?" As Jiraiya pulled out a book, as Kakashi's eyes widened, that was the series. As he said, "Well, Kakashi, this book will be released at the end of 6 months. You know, it will always take time for the publisher to publish the book, but you can have it now, or rather, early. But you have to do something for me. And same with the case with you, Menma Naruto. And if you were to do it, trust me when I say it, you will be far stronger than you guys are actually are now." As at this, both Menma and Naruto were surprised as Kakashi was simply drooling towards the book. As he said, "What do you want me to do, Jiraiya-san?" As Jiraiya simply looked towards Kakashi as he said, "Well, Kakashi, you have a mission from me directly. It is going to be an important mission. You have to use your specialty for this." As Kakashi instantly knew that he was talking about the Sharingan, but why does Jiraiya needs the Sharingan? As Jiraiya said, "Well, Kakashi, you have to copy a jutsu from a specific someone. This jutsu is really important for the both for the development of both Manma and Naruto and for the world, of course." As Jiraiya, as Kakashi already knew about the premonition which great old Toad Sage has given, as he simply nodded at that, wondering what Jiraiya-san was actually talking about. As Jiraiya said, "Well, Kakashi, you have to copy the blood clone technique which Naruto uses." At this, Kakashi's eyes widened for a moment. He also heard about the blood clone, and being a genius himself, he knew the implication of such a jutsu and the amount of training that could be done. Shadow clones are great. They could be used to learn technique, but for someone like Kakashi, who has already all the chakra transformations, as well as being, the shadow clone, does not match up to the Sharingan copy ability and 1000 clones. Though he could still train with clones, but it will not be that efficient. While on the other hand, if he has blood clone, well, that's another story and could easily take in a lot of physical training as well, and that will add up to the physical structure of a body, and that clone is really great. Even Tobirama Senju was not able to create that technique, as he first he thought that it was some type of joke, but now even Jiraiya has confirmed it. Naruto has that technique. As you said, well, why didn't the council demand Naruto to hand over that technique, Jiraiya? As I said, well, the brat is smart. He simply told them that it is a clan relic and a clan jutsu, so they simply cannot demand him that jutsu, as Kakashi taught it for some time. Well, that would be great. But if Kakashi were to copy that technique, it would be put as a crime against a clan of Konoha, and Kakashi could easily die or lose his status as a shinobi or his Sharingan. As Jiraiya simply looked towards him, well, I already know what you're thinking, Kakashi, and don't worry, I'm with you, and even Minato will support you. After all, you are his last surviving student, so I don't think that he will let anything happen to you, Kakashi, so don't worry about it. If you were to copy it, it's my guarantee, you will get away with it scotch-free. As Kakashi thought it for some time, it's a great risk, but then again, they are shinobi, they always take risks. As he simply nodded at that, as he simply looked towards Kakashi, and don't worry, in soon time they will ask you to train Uchiha in the Sharingan as well, and Naruto is going to be declared his sensei. I already know that you wanted to be his sensei, but it seems that Minato has put Naruto as well as Kushina to be the sensei of the new farming team, and I'm pretty sure that Uchiha will be in that team as well. But since Council wants to use the Sharingan, they will definitely ask you to train the Uchiha as well. As Kakashi was a bit disappointed for not training Menma and Naruto, but then again, he has other duties, and it has been some time since he has trained himself, so it will be great. And he will always train Menma and Naruto occasionally, and Uchiha will be trained by him. Other than that, he does not care about the team whatsoever. As he simply nodded at that, as Jiraiya simply looked towards Menma and Naruto. And while on the other hand, you, Menma and Naruto, you have even more important mission, as Menma simply scoffed. What do you want me to do with that damn loser? He does not deserve to be my sensei. I'm far superior to him. I'm the child of destiny and he's nothing. As Naruto simply nodded at that. As even though Kakashi did not like the attitude, but still he could agree to some point. Menma and Naruto are far important than Naruto actually is. As Jiraiya wholeheartedly, completely agree with it. As he said, but of course Menma and Naruto, you guys are far important than Naruto. And he simply looked towards him. While on the other hand, your mission is pretty simple as well as pretty tricky as well. You guys just have to bring me a sample of Naruto's blood. At this both Menma and Naruto were confused as Jiraiya simply smiled at them. Well, it seemed that your brother has a Kekkei Genkai. At this both Menma and Naruto's eyes widened as Menma shot a glare to Jiraiya, as well as Naruto was also leaking a bit of Nante's chakra as well as Menma. As Naruto speak out, what? That worthless loser has a bloodline? How is that even possible? As Jiraiya simply shook his head. Well, calm down you two. Don't worry about it. If Naruto has it, which means that you two also have that Kekkei Genkai. It is pretty easy. After all, you guys are triplet. As at this, both Menma and Naruto's anger even flared up even further, which confuses Jiraiya for a moment, even Kakashi. Why did they get angry when he said that they are triplets? As he simply shook his head, wondering it is nothing. As he said, well, Menma and Naruto, you guys just have to bring us the blood sample, and I know it with that we should be able to figure out how his Kekkei Genkai works, and then you two will be able to activate that Kekkei Genkai as well. He may be strong, but I'm pretty sure that it is only because of the Kekkei Genkai. When you guys activate it, I can guarantee it, you guys will be far stronger than Naruto could actually hope to be. So, are you guys ready for the mission? As both Menma and Naruto shot a smirk to Jiraiya as he said, but of course we are ready, Pavisage. As Jiraiya laughed as he said, well, just you guys have to promise me one thing. You will not tell this to anyone, not even your mom and dad. As Menma and Naruto were confused for a moment, but they simply nodded at that. But of course, we will get his blood no matter what. And Jiraiya simply looked towards them. Don't try to get it yourself. If the opportunity presents, then take it. But I'm pretty sure that there will be some missions in which he will fight some strong shinobis and blood always leak in a battle. You guys just have to gather it. So, are you guys ready? As both Menma and Naruto simply looked towards each other and nodded, we are ready. probably that, as Jiraiya simply nodded at that. As Kakashi also I smiled as he said, well, we are ready for the mission. And yeah guys, here I will left this part. Hope you guys enjoyed it. For the next part, expect a lot of battles, as well as Naruto will show his immense power, putting Manma and Naruto to their places and things like that. You guys will definitely enjoy the next part. And if you guys are new to this channel, or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. And for the like goal for the next part is going to be, let's see, 300 likes and 180 comments in the comment section. Do that and I shall upload the next pod as quick as possible. So yeah guys, and yeah guys, I have an Instagram page by the name of AI Legends 1234. Please follow me on Instagram. And if you guys are new to this channel, or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will really help me a lot. I'm quite near to 10k. I want to reach 10k, so hopefully you guys will help me to reach 10k. So yeah guys, peace.